semen retention, and body gangs. Coming back at you with another video. And in this video, I wanted to say to the subscriber, yeah, I always see the orbs up in the video. Believe it or not, you can't even see them in real life, but every time I'm recording, I see little orbs just falling all around. Listen, first, there go one right there. You see? You see what I'm saying? But first, I got some confirmation on all of the stuff that I'm about to be talking about with the Mason Man, the sorcerer, all of that stuff, why semen retention is so important. Last night on this channel I'm about to show you, it was this great interview, man. Just nothing but confirmation. This interview was sent by the Most High. So let me show you the channel. And you must watch this interview. And I'm going to show you another person who I get a lot of game from. A lot. And he's an ex sorcerer too. But check this out real quick. Hey, hold on. Look. That channel. I hope you can see it. Deep Believer. It's the vampire zombies and the Church of Satan takedown. It was recorded 23 hours ago. And Earthquake Kelly. How to identify the spirits you battle in the shocker about. These two on the Deep Believer channel. This one, especially. Confirmation. You hear what I'm saying? So, yeah. Y'all can stay in here or go to the other room. Or the other one. Yeah, I hope y'all seen that. Because that interview is gonna trip some people out, but it's gonna open a lot of more people's eyes because we do battle against things that we can't see. That's the main battle, man. It's the spiritual battle. And God's people do suffer from lack of knowledge, man. We perish from lack of knowledge. And what knowledge? Okay, if you already know the Bible and you know Abraham and Moses and all of that, then what knowledge don't you know that'll make you suffer and stuff? This knowledge. You hear what I'm saying? So I started the video with Mason Man, and I made that a 14-minute video, and I crammed a lot in a little bit of time. But my experience with Mason Man was over some years. You hear what I'm saying? From when I met him to when I said my goodbyes up in Phoenix and all of that type of stuff, it was some years in between. And since I said goodbye and the astral projection, I haven't seen him since that. That been years ago. But like I said, my girl seen him and she said that the condition that he was in was he was on his last leg. Not to be funny, but yeah, it was about that time. You hear what I'm saying? But things happened before Mason Man came to the park. And this is the reason he came to the park, because something happened before that. And this is what happened. So like I said, I'm homeless. I'm selling weed and stuff in the park. I got workers and all of this stuff. My girl that I'm with now used to be one of my workers, right? She was one of the only people that didn't leave me after everything started crumbling down. So I got my workers and stuff, and one day we were up in the park, and it's my girl and it's this Mexican guy, and we are talking and we smoking weed. And this autistic guy, he comes up. He's a regular at the park. He's homeless too. He like talk to himself and stuff, but he's real cool and he got a good heart, right? He always come and ask me, he do like this, like, can he get my roaches? And I always give him the roaches after we smoke and stuff. I give him my roaches and he go and he do whatever with the roaches. So this day we smoking and then he comes, sure enough, and asks for some roaches and I give him some roaches. And at this time, because I told him to wait because it was like that big. And I'm like, hold on, we're going to be done and we're going to give it to you. So he's sitting there and he waiting and stuff. And we used to that though. And at this time, this lady come in, this woman come up in the park, and she had on all black. She had on sunglasses. She had on like that I forgot what you call it, like the genies be having with the crystal right here, and she had on. You could tell she was with the business, right? So she come up in the park, and I tell my girl to go around the park to tell all the people, watch out for her. I don't like her and stuff like this. And she come and she sit down, and then I'm like, oh, okay, she don't look like no threat, but she weird, so forget her. Finish up the blunt and give it to the hula hoop man. We called him the hula hoop man because he used to go to the back of the park and like twist like in the hula hoop. And we used to laugh at it. But now I do that because I understand why he was doing it. You know what I'm saying? For his lower back and stuff. Now I have to do. Now I do the hoop, right? But anyway, he goes over there by the lady, by the woman, and then he liked the little roach and he hit it, and then a woman do some type of hand movement. And I'm looking because I always scanned the park because I used to work, you know what I'm saying? I always used to scan the park, never resting my eyes on one place. And she had my attention and stuff, but we still talking about other stuff. And all of a sudden, when she did the hand movement, he fell all the way back and bam, like a baseball crack, echoed through the park, and that's when everybody looked. And I'm like, oh man, so we ran over there, right? And then I looked at her and I was like, do you got a phone? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, well, call the people. And she did like that, and she turned around and walked out the park. And I was mad, but I was like, you forget her, because now I'm down on my knees. It's my girl down on her knees. Now I'm down on my knees. And I seen, and he like gasping for air and stuff, right? So I'm about to pick him up. But when I moved his head, a gang of blood just started pouring like on the concrete. And I'm like, oh man, like now I understand that this is serious, man. So I'm trying to tell him like, hold on, and telling people to call the ambulance and all of that type of stuff because he about to die. And sure enough, I looked at him and his eyes rolled back, and then he let out this weird sound like, ah, like he had a big stomach, like a little beer belly, and it went, ah, and then his eyes rolled back and like bulged out a little bit, and he died. And then I said, oh no, 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 no. And I put my hand on his head, and my girl was right there, and I was like, dear God, please don't let him die. And I started talking like Musa Magulu, Musa Magulu. I don't know what the hell I was even saying, but I just didn't want this dude to die. And my girl was right there, and she was like the same thing. But she wasn't speaking like how I was speaking. I know what I was speaking now. I was speaking in tongue, but she was just sitting right there, and she was like crying. She was crying like a female would cry. And I was like in need, like, please don't let him. And then I just was like, God, if you love me, please don't let him die. And I started telling him that I love him. And he went, and then we got back And I'm like, oh man, but I'm still like in the spirit though. It's hard to explain, like. But anyway, it's people around and stuff, and all of a sudden, what broke me out of all of this was the sirens, because they started approaching, and then when the sirens was approaching, I came back to reality, like, oh man, I'm dirty in the park. I got money in the park. I got work in the park. Oh man. So I said, hey, to some people to take care of this because the ambulance was approaching fast. And I know if they come into the park, the police gonna be with them, right? So I got away from him and my girl, and we gave it over to more people at the park. And we left the park that day. He survived. He was still alive to this day. But we left the park that day, and we was thinking about it and stuff like that. And the ambulance said a couple of days later, when people went to go check on him in the hospital, because St. Mary's Hospital was right up the street. And like that's one thing about homeless people, they do be having like friends and stuff that's in the homeless community, right, there to check up on them and stuff. And they said that he had a massive heart attack and he shouldn't have survived and stuff. But later on that day when we came back to the park, because I wasn't gonna be gone from the park too long because I was making money up there too. When we went back to the park, people came out and was like, y'all are angels and all of this. And I started getting scared because it started being serious. Like people throughout the days, people started calling us angels and stuff. And I was like, I'm not a damn angel. I'm homeless. I'm from Watts and I sell weed. You hear what I'm saying? That's it. But people was seriously, and there was people coming to the park. There was other homeless people from like downtown LA. It was just so weird. So one day I decided to go into selling crack, right? So I get some crack. I'm about to take over the park with the crack now. And I had the crack for like 2 days and I'm doing good. And on the third day, the police on the bike roll up to me, right? And something in my head said, they about to kill you because of all of that stuff, bringing the dude back and all of that type of stuff. The police is about to kill you. Something set that in my mind and I got dreadfully scared. And sure enough, they rode their bike. They was the bike police, but they was still real police. And they rode their bike right up to me and said, turn around. And I'm like, what's up? And all of this. And I had like a gang of dope up in my sock. So I turned around and I couldn't picture giving up the park and the amount of dope I had in my sock. I knew I was going to be gone for some time. So I tried to run. And in the process, they grabbed me and now we wrestling and stuff, right? And all of a sudden, the white one, his name was Mukos. It was two police. One name was Lou and another name was Mukos. Lou was Asian and Mukos was a big Terminator. You know, every hood got that big Terminator white dude from Nebraska, the big dude with the blue eyes that'll do damage, right? That was Mukos. And he was like, as we wrestling, he said, he's reaching for your gun. He's reaching for your gun. And he tried to pull out his gun. And at that time, I left my body. And now I'm floating over myself. I'm like, they about to kill me. And it's in real slow motion. I'm seeing it. It's like stopped. If you watched X-Men and you seen old boy that can run real fast and stuff, how he view reality as it's moving, but it's real slow. That's how it was. That's literally how it was, right? And I was like, they're about to kill me. And I was accepting it like, yup, they about to kill me and stuff. And this is how it is when people die and stuff. And then a voice in my head was like, nah, you got a choice. Dang, the time went by fast. It said, nah, you got a choice. And then I went back into my body and stuff. And I gotta make another one until I get this 15 minutes things. I went back into my body. I'm gonna start back off, the next video as I went back in my body. Peace.